So earlier today, I was on Twitter and I saw Mike Bennett post a tweet about how he thought his wife Maria Kanellis was one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling. I don't share that opinion, and in my own special kind of lovable jerk way, I told him that that was fucking jokes. That was my exact tweet. Lol, that's fucking jokes. Now, where I'm from, saying things are jokes is a form of slang. Is it correct English? No. Mike felt the need to attack me for using the slang that I used. I mean, God forbid I should use slang on Twitter. But I just felt it was important that he know that English isn't my first language. Now, you can hear me speak. I think I sound pretty good for someone who just picked it up. But that's not the point of this video. And the fact that he insulted me and told me I had no life, or that I should do something with my life, that doesn't bother me either. I think it's hilarious. I think that he took the time out of his day to tell a nobody like me to get a life is incredibly ironic. What bothers me is this kind of self-entitled, higher-than-thou attitude that some people seem to have, whereas if you're not in the business and if you're not doing it every week, if you're not actually in the ring, your opinion doesn't matter. Now, let me ask you this. How many wrestling matches do you think Jim Ross was in? Yeah, not too many, huh? Is his opinion invalid? I don't think so. How many wrestling matches was Paul Heyman in? Not too many either, huh? Is his opinion invalid? Now, granted, these two are already in the business, doing in another capacity, but they are in the wrestling business, so I get that. What bothers me is that just because someone doesn't do something, it doesn't mean that their opinion is invalid. And I know there's some people that'll back me up on this, because if you watch something for long enough, if you pay attention long enough, you're going to start to kind of pick things up, and you're going to see where things are going and how things are done. Do I claim to know more than Mike Bennett about the wrestling business? Of course not. I don't claim to know more than anybody. All I claim is that I love professional wrestling. I worked at a gym that was an hour and a half away from my house just so I could get the opportunity to tear down and set up a wrestling ring. And because I would do that, the trainers and the other guys would let me do things that I've always wanted to do. Like, who hasn't wanted to run the ropes in a wrestling ring? Who hasn't wanted to jump off the top rope? Who hasn't wanted to take a body slam to see how it feels, to see what these guys are putting their bodies through? And that's another reason why I wanted to do it, because I wanted to gain an appreciation for what so many have done so well for so many years. It has nothing to do with me wanting to be something or trying to get my name out there by attacking Mike, because I honestly don't feel like I attacked Mike. I'm actually a fan of Mike Bennett, and I'm a fan of his wife too. But as far as is she one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling, in my humble opinion, no, she's not. And it's just dumb that to think that just because you don't do something every day or you're not in the business that you just don't know anything. I mean, he asked me who I thought some of the greatest minds in wrestling were, and I named names like JR or Dusty Rhodes or Jim Cornette. I mean, I love Jim Cornette. I think he's one of the biggest assholes in the business, but he's got good ideas and he's kind of funny and he's entertaining, and isn't that what it's all about? So, to kind of keep this brief, because I don't want to rant on forever. I'm not really one of these YouTube kids who goes on and on and on and rants about things. This is actually the first video I've ever made in response to something that I've read on the internet. But I don't feel like people should discredit my opinion or someone else's opinion just because I'm not in the business. Because besides wrestling, I've pretty much done everything that you can do within the business. I've been a ring announcer for some local Montreal shows. I've set, like I mentioned earlier, I've torn down the ring. I've talked to countless guys about, what brought you to the wrestling business? What do you like about it? What do you take from it? And I've learned a lot. And I think if I could just sit down with Mike and have a little talk, he might change his opinion about my thoughts on the business. Maybe not, because he's still butthurt that I said his wife isn't one of the greatest. But if you're a professional wrestler in the public eye, and a nobody, like you called me, Mike, and a nobody like me comes along and takes a little jab at you, maybe you should show a little bit more maturity and a little bit, you shouldn't be so insecure that you feel the need to attack that person. And for all the banana riders, which, Jesus Christ, isn't a slur against homosexuals. It's a slur against people who blindly follow someone because they're such a fan. Okay, so all the hate about how I hate homosexuals, really get over it, because honestly, my girlfriend is bi, and a lot of her friends are gay, and I even have a few of my friends that are gay. I don't care what you do behind closed doors. Really, if you want to have sex with someone who is of your own sex, fuck, more power to you. I'm from Canada. We've allowed gay marriage a hell of a lot longer than the United States, and we're a lot more open-minded in general than a lot of places in the States. So all this I hate homosexual stuff really needs to be put to bed, because a lot of you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'm sorry, I'm getting worked up because I don't appreciate that being put upon me. I support anyone who wants to live their life in a healthy and safe manner. I don't care what you do behind closed doors. In fact, more power to you if you live your life the way you want to live it. Got off topic there. All I want to get through, and hopefully some of you watch this and kind of think twice about discrediting someone who isn't in the business, who has an opinion about the business. Keep on supporting your local independent wrestling companies. Keep going to shows. Keep watching them on TV. The more wrestling there is out there, the better it is for the business in general. And that's just a nobody with a nobody's opinion.